said earlier, there is something humbling about heritage and history. And this is a moment in time. I know, as earlier speakers have said, and those who I admire and respect, who talk about and experience the challenges of coming out. And everybody in our life, at different times and different places, come out in different ways. But it's not always in the context of a society that is so impressive of what our individual choices and our individual lives lead us to. So to the LGBT community who has come out, who is coming out, who will continue to come out, this is such an impactful moment. It's such a moment to take note of a history and of a journey that will continue in so many countless ways.
Hello, my name is Heather and I'm with Cleveland Pride. We're here celebrating the Silver 25th anniversary. I'm currently sitting with Councilman Jay Westbrook, who was actually there in 1989, and we'd like to know a little bit about the climate and your support for the first Pride.
Well, hello, Heather. It's great being with you. In 1989 was a year of transition for me. I was actually, later in the year 1989, became council president. And it's been an honor to serve in that role throughout most of the 90s. But in 1989, I became much more aware of the gay and lesbian community in Cleveland, in many ways because of residents of my ward. I've been very proud to represent the area of Cleveland that is Clifton and Edgewater and Baltic community, and of course that has a wonderful, rich history of gay, lesbian community activity, and so they educated me and helped me be aware of the importance of rights and importance of community. And so I felt it was important to go. I was invited to go. I knew several of the organizers. And so it wasn't in my ward, but I attended it because of my interest in the community. And at that time, it was, looking back on it, it was as a council person coming to attend, I realized that both the pride, but also the tentativeness of it. The thing that I will always remember is the small little closet that was built that people, I think, took turns or bought tickets to come out of. And I thought at the time, well, I'm kind of coming out of my closet too, and that this is a wonderful celebration and a terrific time to be together. And over the 25 years, I realized now to see floats and trucks and parade contingents and the embrace of all of Cleveland, to see religious institutions marching in the parade, to take over the streets of Cleveland, and to claim the Voinovich Park. I mean, that's an amazing thing, because I don't think that George Voinovich is quickly associated by party with LGBT activities and celebration, but I think it does represent a sense of coming to be and coming into the full life of the community. So I was privileged to be there in the very beginning, kind of the birth, if you will, of the Pride celebration, and seen it grow up to be a mature 25-year-old.
That's true. Okay, so now we know a little bit about the first Pride and your support of it. And how do you feel that Pride is helping in the community now?
Well, I think it certainly is a huge celebration and a fantastic coming together. It's the wonderful activities on Voinovich Park, the parade, the expanse of the community that does come together. I've been so honored to march in it and to be in it. There are public official contingents, and I can remember being among one or two public officials that were in the celebration and the parade, and now it's standing room only. And so that's one reflection, I think, of coming into a full role, within the community. When we turn the corner and I see the gay pride flag over City Hall, it really gives me chills to know that it is flying proudly there over your City Hall and our City Hall in a way that some at a previous time might have been timid or unprepared to do, and now it's just an accepted part of the gay pride celebration. And one great story that I have is I was in 2005, I was in the contingent in support of candidate Frank Jackson, who is now our mayor, and he was our council president at the time. And I was marching along and handing out flyers, and to me it's a big celebration because I like to run back and forth from curb to curb because I know a lot of the people that are observing the parade. And but there I was, shoulder to shoulder with Minister Roland Mohammed, who is Islamic minister in the community, and he was just as enthused as I was about reaching out to people, telling the story, and being in the parade. So I think that I know it's a big chore, to put together the celebration. I know a lot of people devote a tremendous amount of time. The office actually for it was in my ward for a couple of years on Detroit, and I saw them working late at night, and so I know how much work goes into it, but I hope no one ever takes it for granted. It is truly a full part of the community. Wow, we've made it. There's always many, many more miles to go, especially when we talk about health and HIV and AIDS, and when we talk about a full acceptance of rights and in the community. There's always more to do, but it certainly can be said, come a long way.
Okay, well, now that we've talked about your role from the beginning and to the present, where do you see Pride going in the future as to being helpful towards the community?
Well, I think there's many ways to perhaps communicate the tremendous coalition and convergence of activities and interests that come together in Pride. It's truly a big tent, if you will, of LGBT community, flaring out, being all that one can be, and also embracing and giving room for supporters. For example, I have one of the leaders of PFLAG in my ward and in my community, and that's families that support LGBT individuals. And so I think maybe looking at the in one way you could look at them as branches coming off of this celebratory tree, but also looking at them as the roots of support that come into the LGBT community, that hopefully there'll be ways in which they can be highlighted more. The more conventional church community and religious community, and the story that I gave about Minister Muhammad. I know from my role in the city that we are deeply involved with the LGBT community in fighting the scourge of AIDS, and which is actually increasing in incidence now over a several-year decline. And that's something that we should give a big shout out about and help bring attention to the interventions and the activities that go to help to, especially in this case, young teens, realize the dangers of AIDS and HIV. So I think that to see it as an educational and outreach opportunity, to see it as a spotlight on those that have helped bring it to a role of prominence within the community. You know, we all, especially at a moment like this when you're marking an important historic achievement of the 25 years, and I was only 25 years old, you know, when the first one. That's not true, but but it gives us, you know, one of the things we should always acknowledge is that at any point in history, wherever we are, we stand on the shoulders of others. And so I think that in the years going forward, looking back and what you've heard today and from others about what it was like, very similar to stories from the civil rights movement, where people talk about what it was like to achieve a certain recognition and certain rights. Those are things we should never take for granted. Never take for granted. Not that you have to be, you know, we need to take things the next mile, the next distance, but to know where you come from also helps guide you where you're going. And I think that that's something that could come out more in the years to come.
Well, this is Heather and Councilman Westbrook celebrating Cleveland's 25th silver anniversary. Just want to thank you for your time and sharing that information from the beginning of Pride's length. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank
It's
you.
really been an honor to be asked to be here.
Thank you. It's been an honor to speak with you.